played in the Expo bout, and is one of the last original MRD skaters still active. She is also one of the very first Unholies to wear the red and gold. On the track, we will miss her as an intense and skilled competitor. Off the track, we will also miss her as first wife, a teammate, and friend. Rita, thank you for being the unholiest of all of us Unholies. We heart you forever and ever. Tacos, tacos, kill, kill, kill. Few of you may remember her, as I do, as Ilse von Blutstern, but we will always love her as Rita Slayworth. Another group of people that we're always going to love, though not while the game is in action for some of us, are going to be our officials and NSOs. Working this first bout for us tonight, we have got Zadork, the Goram Reaver, Eddie Lizard, visiting from Windy City Rollers, Alcoholic, Bjorn to Kill, Thaco, Chaotic Neutral, Stabby McDude Bros around here somewhere. We also want to thank Thaco and Show Nuff, Uno Mas, Irene Adler, Dread Gazebo, Show Nuff, Book It, Keister Bunny, Kate Silver, Cordova, Annika Smashin, Egru, Mr. Welch, Roosevelt, Roadblock, and Squeaky Fromage for wearing that beautiful orange for us and helping us out as they often do. And now, as is customary, we ask you all to rise as with any sport. Remove your helmets and or hats. Want to take a moment to spend with our national anthem. And someone who's going to be singing for us now is also going to be back. Singer from Sexy Esther for our halftime show. He's going to be taking it away right now.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
I don't think we could have chosen any better for our 10th anniversary. Ladies and gentlemen, Lindsay Evans of Sexy Esther. You can see her next Saturday performing with Le Cougar at Inferno Nightclub. And the only possible way I can imagine making that better is putting a little bit of music behind it, which we're going to do at our halftime when she performs with Sexy Esther. And this is why we're here tonight, to see some roller derby happen. Remember, the louder you get, the faster they skate. It's true, it's physics. As we come around, Reminding you the lead jammer is the one jammer in the lead legally. That is going to be number 311, Chop Susie. For the Vaudeville Vixens, Blanche Devereaux is out. But as you can see, Eddie Wizard is indicating she is not eligible to be lead jammer. Benefit again of lead jammer, as Chop Susie illustrated right there, is that you can call it off by placing the hands on the hips several times. Just once is not enough. I'm checking right here with Squeaky Fromage. She's verifying indeed. Has to be a repetitive motion. Hands to the hips. Magic Missile Woman up on the line. Kicking those turbo boost gears up early, and indeed she's through on the inside to become the lead jammer. Takes a moment to smile at the fans. Darling, they get very quickly behind saying, you know, you may have earned that, but you're going to have to keep on going. All right, remember we got our scoreboard to the left. It is dim, but it is still with us. The Vaudeville Vixens right now are at 3 points. The Unholy Rollers at 0. Plenty of time left to see what is going to happen as we've got back to our line. Gertrude Awakening, 0W in the brown and pink. Skating for the Vaudeville Vixens. Unholy Rollers have decided to put out on their line. Let's see if she can push it through. Splatter Alice tried to make a move. Not sure who got called. We'll check for that in just one moment. That was, oh, that Sierra went right to her head. That is Rita Slayworth being called out of bounds. Gertrude Awakening, though, following right behind her. Looks like it was a cut track call. Remember, you got to stay in bounds, pass everyone legally. Good time for Splatter Alice. See if she can make a dent in the slight gain that's already happened so far. As you can see up on your screen, Splatter Alice got knocked to the outside, but she was able to re-enter legally, and that is going to be the key. You have to make sure that you pass everyone while you are in bounds, if they are in bounds. Splatter Alice trying to find a way she can go around last minute. A little bit of a bump from Chop Susie with the pivot strike. Remember, the last line of defense. Very off in the middle. Gertrude Awakening, though, unfortunately, comes off of the bench, gets right back into the exact same issue. And that can't happen here in such a hurry. You've already been sitting for 30 seconds. You want to get back to the action very quickly. Simple mistakes do add up, however. Remember, 7 times to the box means you're done for the day. Rita Slayworth tries to make a nice little bit of an opening and succeeds. Unfortunately, Splatter Alice not quite able to take advantage of that. Chop Susie gets a nice bump on the outside, but Splatter Alice gets back inbounds behind her. That is the correct and legal way to do it. Continues to take a pummeling, but is on her feet. I could never do that well. I can barely stand on skates, let alone try to move. Gertrude Awakening back in, pack. Oh, not enough time to come back around. Splatter Alice does not gain any more points as well. But she did quite a nice job with 20 points for the Unholy Rollers. Daisy Juke making a move right up the middle, just continuing to stutter step, which when you see those little taps of the feet, just making sure that she can continue to stay mobile. She decides to go up the middle, but that opens up an opportunity, and you know who took it. Number 22, Tango Muerte for the Unholy Rollers. Ooh, this is comfortable. All right. Nice. Daisy Juke is indeed through. As you can see again, when you see Alcoholic, they're signaling that waving of the arms indicates that that is not eligible for lead jam. Again, that is because that had already been established. The benefit of becoming lead jammer is what you saw one more time right there. You can call a jam if you wish to do so. B1T or Bit, as we call her, Fang Dangle, She's got the star for Team Gold. She's up against Nefarious, number 45. A little bit of a quick bump out right there, as you can see. Blanche Devereaux holding her fingers up saying, oh yeah, that was me. You got to get behind if you want to do it right, and that's exactly what Nefarious does. Re-entering legally, but that affords Fang Dangle the opportunity to persevere, and she did, to become the lead jammer, as illustrated by the finger up in the air and the finger pointed out right at her. The only time it's polite to point is when you're lead jammer. As we see Fang Dangle, she gets through, hands on the hips, making sure that the referee does see that, and he calls it. Now remember, the thing to be knowledgeable about those points and contact can continue up until that fourth whistle. So it's all about the speed of the jammer, it's all about the momentum. After that first fourth whistle, I know it's a little bit confusing. For the whistles, the first time we hear 1, 2, 3, 4, that is when contact and points stop.
Taking the gold star for the Unholy Rollers is D4 Magic Missile. She is also in the pack with 350. Susie Homewrecker, and it is Magic Missile who breaks the pack first, is Lead Jam. Susie Homewrecker stuck behind a defensive wall of Molly Taub in the front. Betty Davis Thighs comes to clear her out.
And again, I'm glad to be joined by, of course, the one and only Alligator, taking care of things while I look at my notes.
Susie Homewrecker still being held up against that one-woman wall. Molly Taub and Hello Sailor still on her initial pass.
But again, as you can see right there, it's illustrating its smart play. Magic Missile, she's going to continue to move forward. She knew that she had lead. She's going to get that 5th point. What's that thumb about?
That thumb is the extra point that she gets for passing the opposing jammer.
As we see, Susie Homewrecker is finally through the pack. That was her initial pass. But unfortunately for her, she is not going to have enough time to come back around to get a few points.
Magic Missile makes her way through that pack one last time, picking up 4 points on that last pass. I believe making that a 14.20 jam for the Unholy Rollers.
Oh, very interesting. It looks like at the last little bit there, we had it skating out of bounds, called on the jammer for the Unholy Rollers, Magic Missile. That is what our ref calls. You have to stay forward and in motion according to the rules. You cannot avoid contact and actively skate out of bounds.
Activate, you say?
I know you Unholies out there. They getting crazy. Want to thank Ale Asylum. It is brewed and bottled here in Madison. It's fermented insanity. We have locations at Hilldale and on Atwood Avenue.
We'd also like to thank our friends at Anthology, a shop in downtown Madison featuring over 100 local and independent artists. We dig crafty chicks.
And who doesn't? I see some kids up on that Jumbotron. I know Jumbotron's a trademark, but I don't care. There's a guy not even paid. Oh, there he sees himself. That's right, you're famous right now.
Where's it gonna go next? Oh.
Oh, wait, that's us.
Almost.
All right, if you're in front of the WORT 89.9 FM banner, you are on our big screen. That guy realized. What's great is it's not printed on the other side. He actually knew what banner he was behind. Want to thank Stabby McDude Bro, who is helping us understand. So there was not particularly an official review. The referees got together, conferred that there was not actually a penalty for that, so there is no one in the penalty box. Therefore, Splatter Alice, number 987, is wearing the star for Team Gold on the 105.5 Triple M Jammer line.
And she's going up against number 311, Chop Susie for the Vaudeville Vixens. And it is Splatter Alice out first with lead jam, but hot on her tail. And passing her is Chop Susie.
And as we see Splatter Alice do one of the other great versions of the call-off, head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes.
Very calm call-off, very calm, deliberate. So we have a score of Unholy Rollers 47, Vaudeville Vixens 4, just under 21 minutes left to go in this first half of the grudge match.
Want to remind you, we do have shout-outs for $1. You can go to the merchandise booth, fill out a shout-out card. We will blatantly read whatever you want to put on it as long as it is family-friendly and appropriate. That $1 goes to Bob Charity. We'll talk about in a little bit.
We have Berserk Lee taking the star for the Vaudeville Vixens, going up against Molly Tov of the Unholy Rollers, both still stuck in the pack behind the defensive of the other team. Whistles are blowing, and it looks like it is the Vaudeville Vixens jammer that has picked up a forearm penalty and will be spending 30 seconds in the box.
Indeed, you know, people who've been back to this sport before, it was a minute before, but they wanted to speed that game up, and it absolutely has. Now, this is going to be interesting as we have our second jammer going to the penalty box.
So we are going to have a jammer swap out. That means the second jammer is going to serve the equivalent time of the first jammer. Then she will be released. Neither jammer will be eligible for lead jammer status. So this will make it a 2-minute jam.
That's how we like them, really, if you want to think about it, because it gets that action continuing to go on the track. Now, that is the initial pass for the jammer for the Vaudeville Vixens.
Correct.
Going to see we have to wait for that pass to continue also for the Unholy Rollers. Unholy Rollers right now at 47 points. Vixen came out quickly and have stunted at 4 points.
And it looks like the Unholy Rollers have picked up a penalty for failure to reform. Goldie Mean will be spending some time in the box.
And again, to her credit, she took the moment to look inside and said, "Me?" And indeed it was.
And the referees confirmed, yes.
Yes, it was. So, Berserk Lee's coming back around, waiting to see if she can get any more points. With a few seconds that indeed she does have left in this jam. She does get through and pick up 5 points. Once again, that is because she has lapped her opponent jammer.
It is true. 1, 2, 3, 4 for the blockers in the pack, and the 5th for the opposing jammer. And with that, the last pass, no one picked anything up, but the Vaudeville Vixens did pick up 5 points on that jam, closing the gap a little bit by a little bit.
And you yourself can pick up a specific shout out, much like this one that says, "Welcome back, Devin, get bit." And all it's going to cost you is $1. Remember, that $1 for the shout out goes to our Bout charity, which happens to be the River Food Pantry, nonprofit, volunteer-driven, faith-based community providing hot meals, groceries, clothing, and household items to Dane County families who are struggling to make ends meet. So not only is your $1 going to get to have us say something ridiculous, but it's also going to go for a very, very good cause. So please, make us say it for $1.
Taking the line for the next jam, we have Nefarious taking the star for the Vaudeville Vixens, going up against Fang Dangle of the Unholy Rollers. Little bump from Nefarious on Fang at the start, and both making their way through the pack.
Trying to see, remember, it's the first one who gets through legally becomes a lead jammer, has established those quick 2 whistles right there showing Fang Dangle. Nefarious, though, going to the penalty box because of a forearm. She has to fit for 30 seconds.
Vixen setting up in a defensive wall, and Unholy is doing a little bit of offense to swing forward. One last to beat that is Happy Go Lucky, and Fang Dangles picks up 5 points.
We'll see as a magnitude 10 has just come back into the pack to thicken it up a little bit at the front. All 4 blockers now. They've only got 1, the pivot in gold. Seeing if she can pry that apart. Is able to break it up enough. No, nice work on that outside. She's able to stay inbounds, keep her momentum, switch that body around. Very well played.
Fang has some lovely feet on her. Very long legs. She knows how to use them.
Unholy Rollers, 57 points. Vaudeville Vixens at 14. We have 17 minutes left to play in our first half. Remember, we have a whole other half of roller derby.
Oh my gosh, so
right
much
here
fun.
with these 2 teams.
And Fang makes her way through that pack again, picking 5 more points. Nefarious shrugging off a hit by Twisted Halo at the front. Fang calls it off, picking up 3 points on that last pass, extending the score. Unholy Rollers 65, Vaudeville Vixens 14.
As this is a fun event, we have a continuation of that fun event. That is going to be the High Noon Saloon for our after party. Tonight with rock star Gomoroki. Come Sing with the Dolls. It's at 701 East Washington Avenue. You know, the best part is I've been gone for 2 years and I still remember. It's at 701A East Washington Avenue.
And a quick lead jam picked up by Magic Missile. And unfortunately, some penalties being picked up by Hannah Cuffs.
Forearm, if I'm not mistaken, is going to send her to the penalty box right now. Going to thin the pack just a little bit. But much to Magic Missile's credit, she just continues to plow through.
Betty Davis dies out on her initial pass for the Vaudeville Vixens.
I don't know how you don't sing her name every time you say it.
It's hard.
We got another shout out here to Amy. Honey Bunny, thanks for making my decade.
Winelia?
Winelia.
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 It's very sweet, regardless of our pronunciation.
You paid $1 for us to murder your name, but it starts with wine, and that's all I need to know.
It was worth $1. And the first whistle is off. Blanche Devereaux for the Unholy Rollers going up against Chop Susie of the Vaudeville Vixens. Chop is out first, and she is lead jammer.
Rita Slayworth also going now out to the penalty box, number 9 in the gold.
And it looks like Blanche Devereaux has picked up a back block penalty. She'll be spending 30 seconds in the box, joining her teammate Rita Slayworth.
Which affords an easy opportunity for that 5th point for Chop Susie right now, trying to build not an insurmountable lead, but a fairly substantial one early in this game as the Unholies are 72. But the Vixens now already 10 points diminishing.
Closing the gap. And it looks like Mustang has picked up a penalty. And Chop working against that line of Unholies. They get the no pack call, have to let her go. She picks up 5 points.
Remember, all the game happens in the pack, and that's exactly what we're seeing right now. It's all about jockeying for position. You saw a great bit of happening right there. Gold in control of the back, allowing their jammer to get through, but Vixens very quickly closing the front, making the jammer work for it. She did, especially considering that is her initial pass.
Yeah. Blanche Devereaux came out of that box with some fire under her feet and got through. Vixens picked up 2 points on that last pass, bringing the score to Unholy Rollers 72, Vaudeville Vixens 31, slowly closing that gap. We have just over 13 minutes left to go in this first half of gameplay. That is a lot of time left for them to catch up.
The Roman candle. You know what? I can read this, but I don't even have to because I know for a fact Roman Candle is a place where family, friends, and neighbors gather for good times and even better pizza. And I know because they're tonight's Feed the Doll sponsor. Thank you, Roman Candle.
I cannot wait to eat that pizza. I'm very excited about it. And out as lead jam for the Vaudeville Vixens, that is number 14, Darling Nikki. And out on her initial pass, that is number 22, Tango de Muerte.
See, that's a name that's fun to say.
Good old Tango, Tangry.
Little quick sister-on-sister violence right there as Goldie Mean gets in the way of Darling Nikki, makes her slow up enough that she decides probably an appropriate time to call the end of that. Also, a thing called right now is a timeout on behalf of the Vaudeville Vixens.
That'll give us 1 minute to do some shout-outs. Shout-out 1, we have Bout Night in Madison. Always exciting.
Oh, you two, come on, it's the kiss cam. You can high five, but if I said you can high five, you don't have to hide. It's high five, not hide five. All right, let's see this happy couple right there. Kiss that scruffy beard. You know you want to. We all want to. Yeah, that's you. Oh, there, come on, you two.
Come on.
No, wait, oh, we got you.
Yeah.
Come on, it's been established. Everybody's watching. High five. Dum, bum, ba, ba. Kiss cam. Wilford Brimley needs a kiss.
Or high five cam. I love the glance at each other. So much in those eyes and that glance.
That I said, what did that jerk say? Look at this guy in the red shirt. Kiss anybody. Come on, it's your time to shine. Oh, okay, fine. We're going to come back to you. Don't think you got off easy.
We got 5 seconds on the track till this next jam starts. A whistle blown, fang dangled for the Unholy Rollers, going against Gertrude Awakening, who is your lead jammer for the Vixens.
You got to admit, they've made a little bit of a rally here as they're closing it to about half the Unholy score. Having lead jam is going to make a little bit of a difference right now. We will see.
And it looks like Happy Go Lucky picked up a low block as she tripped up Fang Dangled as she tried to exit the pack. And she got reabsorbed. Is just now out on her lead pass, and it looks like Gertrude Awakening has picked up a back block penalty, which will send her to the box, which will then also make this a 2-minute jam, as she was the lead jammer.
Well, this is going to give Fang Dangle an opportunity to shine, much like her gold outfit. She's already proven that she can be effective in this game so far. We'll see what she can do right now. Putting up many points, 5 more right there again. You get the points for whomever is in the box as soon as you pass your first opponent. She gets 5, she gets through again. If it's all legal, she gets another 5.
Vixen setting up a defensive wall, some forward, some backwards. Fang trying to work up the inside and the outside as the Vixens try to maintain the pack and bridge forward. Just 2 left to beat. That's Dolly Pardon Me and Jean de Snark. And Fang is out. That is 5 points for the Unholy Rollers.
Looks like we said, bumping their score to 87 points, though Gertrude Awakening is back in, and interestingly, 5 points herself.
Oh.
Unholy Rollers take it up to 91 points. The Vaudeville Vixens at 44, 10 minutes left. And again, a shout out for Scarlett Osneria.
Oh, look at Scarlett Osneria. Not out there right now, but her team is playing. Congrats on your graduation from UW, and good luck in Seattle this summer. Love, Mom and Dad.
Oh.
And a big good luck from us at the Mad Rollin' Dolls as well. We are gonna miss you, Scarlett.
Feel like I hardly got the chance to know her.
Oh, and that is lead jam. That is Magic Missile.
Oh, it's like she had her on her cloak of invisibility. She's able to get through that inside. A little bit of a tap, and it is all legal and good, but she picks up 4 points on that pass.
Darling Nikki was approaching fast, but unfortunately did not pick up any points. Missile called it before she was able. Taking the line next, we have number 406, Montana Slammer, taking the star for the Vixens, going up against number 65, Blanche Devereaux for the Unholy Rollers. We have a little bit of a short pack on both sides.
Just the nicest little bit.
Just your widow packs.
Well, you know, this is the end of the season. You got to leave it all out on the track, and they're obviously doing that so far tonight.
It's true. When, if not now, when?
Good point.
Beautiful dry.
Pointing.
looks like Chop Susie picked up a forearm. She'll be spending some time in the box. Montana Slamma picked up lead jam status, and she called it off before Blanche was able to enter the pack and pick up any points, making that a 0-0 jam and making the score Unholy Rollers 99, Vaudeville Vixens 44. It has no relevance as far as doubling or anything, but it looks really pretty. I wish it was doubled.
It is pretty. You know, you may call it the Willie Street Pub and Grill and Good Times Emporium, but I'm always going to call it the Wisco.
Wisco.
And the birthplace of roller derby in Madison. 10 years ago.
Oh, 10 years. Magic Missile slips up that inside of the apex, picks up lead gem. Susie Homewrecker hung up behind Molly Taub at the front of the pack.
Susie Homewrecker takes the inside lane. She's going to be through on her initial pass. That's the first time that she is through, as Magic Missile had already established lead jammer. You see her looking over to the bench, trying to get some clarification on what she should do. And again, she calls it much like you could tell she was thinking.
Again, I do love the calm little calls.
Subtle.
Yeah. Jammer, you looking at that? Yeah.
The WORT block party is next weekend on MLK off the square. It is free to the public.
Head on over. There should be a good old time.
It's always a good time. I believe this is the 11th annual No Crap on Tap Beer Pavilion is going to be there as well. I heard that on the radio today.
Did you?
That's where I hear WORT when I'm in town. I live 1,000 miles away and I still tune in online.
I was going to say. Got an app on your phone for that?
You bet I do. Unholy Rollers 103, Vaudeville Vixens at 44. That is once again Fang dangled in the front to become your lead jammer. She's got number 45, Nefarious, very closely behind, but she has got to be let up and out. It's amazing someone so small can hold that line so well.
Micro Mauler's a fantastic pivot. It's amazing what she can do in the pack on her own. Even more amazing what she can do with a partner. Huge hit from Splatter Alice, sends her teammate and Nefarious to the out. Fang calls it off, picking up 4 points for the Unholy Rollers. Nefarious picking up 2 points of her own for the Vixens.
Nestled deep within the hills of Black Earth, Wisconsin lies one of the largest independent shoe stores in the United States of America, representing over 100 shoe companies, and it goes by the name whispered in dark corners of Madison, the Shoebox.
The Shoebox.
I love the Shoebox. Great, fantastic. It's only about half an hour outside of town. Definitely worth the trip if you can make it.
They got an amazing selection.
They do. I got big feet and they've always got shoes for me.
Both jammers still in the pack. Tango de Muerte battling up front with Darling Nikki, and she picks up lead jam. Not far behind her, we have 0-1 Daisy Jukes. Tango doing a little bit of defense with Daisy. Tango following her blockers through the pack. Picks up 4 points, calls it off. The Vixens answer with 3 points of their own. Just under 5 minutes left to go. We have some shout outs. Oh, well, what do you know? Quad Squad, Quad Squad. Your fans are all proud of you.
Speaking of crowd, we can look at our ringster stats very quickly. Chop Susie, the leading point scorer with 20 for the Vaudeville Vixens. Gertrude Awakening with 9. Then you've got Darling Nikki and Daisy Juke. Don't forget Berserk Lee with 10 points. We'll see how many are going to be added right now by Chop Susie.
And she's going up against I Am Spazicus. She has just cleared the pack on her initial pass. Chop Susie making short work of that pack, picking up 4 points for the Vixens and calling it off. One of our lovely sponsors, the Ass Jammery, Fundamental Pete's Ass Jammery on WSUM, Thursdays from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. based on the tradition of loading a donkey with gifts and sending it out across the desert. Learn more at fundamentalpete.com.
When it's time to get back to basics, it's always good to get fundamental.
It's true. Taking the 105.5 Triple N Jam line is Magic Missile going up against Tipsy Velvet for the Vixens. Both getting stuck in the pack. Tipsy making her way up front only against Hannah Cuffs. And she is your lead jammer for the Vaudeville Vixens.
Remember, as you can see, we have got Magic Missile. She is out, trying to figure out which way she's going to go.
And it looks like Tipsy Velvet came in with a little bit too much force and caused a low black penalty. She'll be spending 30 seconds in the box. And again, as lead jammer, she loses that status, and this will be a 2-minute jam.
That does give slight advantage to Magic Missile, as you can see right now, as she is the only jammer out there. She's getting the jammer lap point. That's going to take their total well over 100 points, as they are now at 116. It's going to continue to add up as they pass through yet again for another 5.
And that is her second Grand Slam pass of the jam. Unholy Rollers bridging back, forcing Tipsy Velvet to enter behind the last blocker. And it looks like Hannah Cuffs picks up a low block penalty for tripping up the opposing jammer. Tipsy Velvet is through, picks up 4 points for the Vixens. Big hit from Darling Nikki at the front of the pack, drives Magic Missile out of bounds. And Tipsy Velvet through on her other scoring pass. 4 points for the Vixen. Magic Missile through as well, picking up 4 points for the Unholy Rollers. Oh, there's a shout out for me. Hey, Alligator, thanks for the rhubarb muffin from Choppy. Hey, Choppy, you're welcome. I hope you enjoyed it.
I didn't get any rhubarb muffins.
You didn't ask for one.
Touché.
Good old Stella's Bakery. Spicy cheese bread and rhubarb muffins. So.
Who knew?
Choppy did.
Yeah.
Starting this next jam, we have Chop Susie. She is out first with lead jammer status. Blanche Devereaux, the jammer for the Unholy Rollers, stuck behind the wall of Jean Dusnark and Happy Go Lucky, but not for long, as she's out on her initial pass.
Remember, they got enough time. The clock goes until we hear the 4 whistles. So even if the period clock is done, the jam clock will still be in motion.
And both jammers through, picking up 4 points each. Whistles are being blown. It looks like Happy Go Lucky picks up a forearm penalty near the end of that jam. And Chop Susie picks up 4 more points for the Vixens.
So remember, they do have 30 seconds between jams in which to line up and get into position, and that is what you are seeing right now. Remember the days when it was just as soon as everyone was ready?
Yeah, you ready? All right, we're gonna blow the whistle now.
That's how it was. When we started 10 years ago, it was, are you guys ready? Okay, let's go.
5 seconds, 20 seconds, minute, sure.
It was a little bit of variety. So again, those whistles right there indicate that it is halftime of the first game. Remember, we have a lot of derby action left to play. We're gonna take a quick opportunity to talk to some of our skaters, our last 2 jammers, actually, before we head it. I want to talk very quickly to Blanche Devereaux. Hi, it's so good to see you. So, quick question. How do you feel it's going out there tonight?
I love it.
Well, I would think when you're looking at the score right now, you've got 134 compared to a giant shadow. Oh, that's 71 points. Now, they've been kind of creeping back. You've been continuing to keep the lead. Anything that you think you're going to do differently in the second half?
I'm going to listen to my teammate Halo and be more punchy, less dancey. Yeah. And then keep doing what we're doing.
But I think the fans love it when you're dancey, though.
Yeah, but my teammates don't really like it very much.
It's all about a balance.
Points, yeah.
All right, I'll let you go to the locker room. Thank you so far. And Chop Susie, it's always good to see you.
It's always good to be seen, man.
You got some fans here tonight.
Yeah.
Who's up there?
Oh, a bunch of people from my school, my family, a ton of my friends, a bunch of my students. It's pretty awesome.
They wouldn't happen to be here because it may be your last game tonight.
Yes, I think a lot of them came because it's my last game tonight, but that's okay. I'm glad they're here cheering me on and our whole team.
So anything, you know what, I don't even want to know what your strategy is going to be the second half because I know you've got one. I know you well enough to know that you've got one and you're not going to tell me even if I ask.
Yeah, no, that's top secret. Sorry, Bam Bam.
All right. Thank you so very much. Have a good second half of your game, and thank you for all the time you put in.
Hey, thanks for coming here for Philly for our 10th year.
All right, we're going to take a quick talk now as we speak with Pat Gallagher. He is here from our About charity. He'll be able to talk a little bit more about the River Food Pantry.